Hello, the people back on YouTube. So today I'm going to be showing you all how to draw a hand. This is not a perfect hand. This is just the style of hand that I draw. And start with the line art first. Just do a rough sketch. I've seen a whole lot of tutorials on how to draw hands, and I've looked at anatomy books, but when I draw the hands, I like to give them my own style of drawing, so that way it looks unique and not something you would see in a book. So, and given how hands are such a almost a complicated thing to draw, I like to draw a rough sketch with just the lines kind of showing where the fingers would be. Got that. And then let's do the thumb on this one, on that side. Now in real hands you would also have bones over here, so I just did this rough sketch of the palm area as to where those bones would be, so I'll just put them in place like this. And then at the bottom over here they have these small little bones which kind of make up the, not kind of, but make up the wrist area. And then we'll just draw some lines down here to signify the rest of the arm. Now we'll start with the building of the bones. Give it a nice rough look. And then another one over here. Another here. Okay, and some rough line over here again. Usually I don't like having to do the rough pencil sketch. I just like going directly to the ink and building up on that and making any edits. But for the drawing hands, I like having to do the rough pencil sketch first, just because it's got so many small little bones going on and going in all different directions, almost like you think about fingers. Okay, so we got our hand. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. Maybe turn it up a little bit and position it. Now that we've got that, I'm gonna make a new layer, and I'm gonna pick my vector brush, and for this I'm gonna choose like a dark shade of brown, and then start with that. So this time around I'm gonna start at the bottom and draw my first bone. It's amazing how these small little bones that are at the bottom of the palm help you move your arm in, not arm, but your palm so easily when you're drawing. It's almost like ball bearings in a truck or in an engine. Kind of like, I mean, those ball bearings are small, but yet they have so much that they accomplish when you're drawing. Well, I mean, not drawing, but when they are in this particular engine compartment. Okay, so that's that. Now let's work on these bones over here. So I'm going to start with this one over here and then work my way to the top. And remember, again, this is not an exact drawing of what an actual finger looks like. I mean, if you want to draw actual fingers, I mean, there are so many anatomy books out there that you can pick. I think honestly, when you make your own version of something, you can truly make it as unique as you want it to be. And if you're not happy with how it turns out, I mean, you can always start from the beginning. The bone over there. Now for this section over here, I like to draw a little circular indent, so it kind of gives like the feel of, you know how you have the little, what is it, the knuckles in your fingers? And then we'll do the same thing over here. Give it the same nice wiry look. Do another circular move. This part, the tip of the finger, is, it honestly, it kind of looks like a baby alligator. Let's try that again. Alright, so the next part is gonna be this bone over here. And give it a nice long undo is a feature that is nice, but sometimes I think it also takes away from an original line work or line that you would have done, which is something that you can get used to doing when you do traditional art. these lines that I start from here and then work is just to give the illusion of the fingers having some different I don't know what you want to call it, character, I guess. So that way one looks different from the other. Then let's start the other one, the little knuckly. Start the next bone. Okay, now I'm gonna do the remaining of this, and well, I don't know what I was gonna say, I lost my trail of thought. So what is it about fingers that is difficult to draw? Personally, I think it's the fact that it's a part of the body, or part of the structure of the bones in the skeleton, that is constantly able to change its visual not visual appearance, that's not what I was trying to say. I guess what it is you know how you have the ribs, which is obviously in place, they don't really move around. I mean, well, they could move around if you have an accident or you hurt yourself, but that's not the moving around you're hoping for. In the fingers, what is I think what is interesting and also very cool to draw about them is the fact that you can have so many different angles in which you can take pictures. Like if you took a picture of your arm or your hand, you can do the you can have a picture taken in a motion like this, or like that, and it changes the whole visual of what the palm would look like. I remember there was a project that I had to do when I was in art school for a brief time. When I say brief time, is I didn't really stay too long because it was fun, but at the same time I kind of felt it was a little restrictive. But anyway, what I was saying is the assignment that we had or were given to do was we had to do a project in which this was an anatomy class, and the project we had was we had to pick different bones of the human body and make our very own creature, which when we first heard about it, everybody was like, what the hell? But when the project was coming together and we actually finally had to do our stand around, I guess, in the class where you would post your images on the display boards, it was cool to see what everybody came up with. I mean, one person designed a body or a creature made from the rib cage, another made a creature or a centipede from the spinal cord, and then for me, I picked my favorite part of the body I least like to draw which is the hands, and I kind of made it look kind of like you remember the Addams Family character cousin, what is it, cousin it, or is it thing, where it has the little hand that just runs around aimlessly? Well, yeah, that was my character. And what I made it do was I drew a hand or a bony hand similar like this, and I kind of gave not gave but for the bones that were over here, I kind of made eyes, so kind of like something like this, but obviously it's not cartoony looking, but yeah, that was my take on it. And it was a fun project. But I think what is the cool part about the project is when at least when I was in an anatomy class, we were in that class to learn how to draw the different parts of the body and learn how each thing functions. But when you get a project like that, that's something unique, it forces you into thinking about ways you wouldn't have usually drawn that part. I mean, like, yeah, usually when you go to anatomy class, the usual thing would be is they would give you a project to draw a study of the human hand, and then you would have to pick 3 or 4 different ways you would draw that and then illustrate it, and then I think we have to label it and to say that, you know, this bone is this and this bone is that, and then so on and so forth. And that's the part of the class I think that was kind of a little bit boring, but the project of picking different bones and making your own character, that's what I was really interested about, it was a very interesting project at the time. So yes, that's one of my stories about hands. And trying to think of the other projects we had when I was in art school. I think 2D cell animation was another class we took. Oh gosh, that class was, I think I was like, I didn't really want to do it, and I actually got to see what 2D cell animation was, but that was definitely not for me. But yeah. Alright, so coming back to what we were saying, so now I'm going to draw this second last finger and see what I want to change in this, if any, or just make it looks like it's other cousins. Alright, so for this part, I didn't like how the thumb was originally when I drew it, so I used the selection tool and changed it around a little bit. So I like how that's looking. Alright, so deselect that, come back to the layer I was working on, and start doing the thumb now. The opposable thumb. Can you imagine a life or having to do anything without a thumb? How we have all these 4 fingers over here, but just the wonderful thumb that's in this part of the hand. I'm just trying to imagine what it would be like to start drawing without thumbs. But it's funny, I'm thinking about there was this one reel I seen, the usual, when you go on Instagram, you go to look for something and then you just end up scrolling and scrolling and scrolling away, and then suddenly I happened to come across this reel where there was this girl that had no hands or no arms. Well, yeah, she had no hands, and she was making paintings with her feet. She had actually taught herself how to hold a paintbrush with her feet and make paintings. I don't really know if that was the original Instagram account or if it was just a shared what do you call it, reel. But man, that is something you gotta applaud this artist for, being able to create art with her feet. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, if something would have happened like that to us creators, at least, shit. I mean, I can't imagine something like that happening to anybody. But if it were, I mean, can you imagine how that would drastically just change everything on how you make art? But yeah. Alright, so let's stop the mopey talk and come back to this. So originally when I first drew these, which is a few minutes ago, I didn't really like how this thing, it honestly looked like I'm starting to look like pebbles. But what I'm going to intentionally do is I'm going to pretend these were drawn with an actual pen and not undo it, and see how it looks at the very end. So at this point I'm gonna draw the bone that would be extended or part of the arm, and draw that. And I'm not going to finish it all the way, obviously, because there is no room. But what I am going to do is I'm going to make it seem like this was a hand that was offered up to science for people to learn how to draw. If that's even there. Oh yes, now I remember what I was trying to tell you. Many years ago, well, not many years ago, but I think I want to say 7 years ago, back in Toledo, Ohio, there was this place called, or there still is a place called the it was a science place, let's call it that for the moment. I can't seem to remember what the name was. And they actually had an exhibition or a display where they were not live, but a display of the human body without the skin, where people had donated their body to science, and it was on display over there. I mean, I really wish I had my schedule permitted me to go see it, but I don't know whatever was going on in my life at that point, I was not able to get to the place, and it was a revolving kind of those exhibitions, which is it came to Toledo, and then I think after Toledo, I think if I were to venture a guess, it was on its way to Pittsburgh, and I think further up east. So I'm pretty sure it's probably still around at this time, but I just don't know where. But I think that would have been a really cool thing to look at, to actually look at the actual real, what the human muscles and tissues and all that look like underneath all this. I mean, because at the end of the day, I mean, like, you know, I mean, we have our bones, but this is like the base structure as to what things are all built on, kind of like a building block. When you think of a building, I mean, like, you know how you have the concrete and you have the bricks and then the rebar and all that stuff. So this would have to be like, I think, yes, this would be our rebar, and then the muscles and the tissue would be the the fabrication of that. I mean, yeah, this is how my brain my brain works when I'm drawing things. There's all these 101 thoughts that just kind of like zoom past my head, and then my mind's like, you want to say that on your YouTube video? And then my brain's like, sure, why not? But yeah, so that's the hand. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna work on giving it some little more of some line art. So let's see, let's start from over here, and then maybe I'll go to this one and then this one, and then we'll see what happens. So the whole purpose of drawing these lines is to make it look that, or to give it the illusion digitally that this part of the body has some weathered texture to it. And trying to remember where I'd seen there was this I don't know if it was a museum or something I'd seen, but there was a half cut section of the bone that when you look inside the bone, there's all that what is it, marrow. That's another cool thing to look at and study. Exactly. I mean, yeah, it's good knowledge to have, but yeah, these drawing sessions and these tutorials are kind of a nice way for me to draw and talk to my fellow followers. Alright guys, so I had to stop the video to go look up that information what I was talking to you about earlier on, and the website for the place that has this exhibition that I was talking about is called bodyworlds.com, and pretty much what it is let's see, this is the website, www.bodyworlds.com. So if you go to this website, and you can actually look up the places that they're going to be next, and as of right now it's showing that they're going to be in Galveston, which is, I'm guessing, Galveston, Texas, but that's just a little quick info. So, and another thing I also did while I was not recording a few minutes ago is I just went ahead and give a little bit of dots for these to give some more texture to this work. So what I'm gonna do now is, since the hand is on this white background, I'm gonna go ahead and change it to a little bit of a darker background, and hopefully you'll be able to see the color I'm choosing to color with. So let me go ahead and select set this layer as a reference layer, and this time change that because that's going to be the color layer. And the color I was thinking about is this almost creamish color, kind of like what rails bones are. So hopefully that can be seen. And as usual, to make the steps go quicker, I'm just gonna select the paint bucket tool, drop that over there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I know I'm counting, but this part of dropping paint onto this is really what I like. I wish in the traditional world, if you could drop paint like this when you were drawing. Can you imagine how many originals you could probably do in such a quick amount of time? So there's that. So that's going to be the base color for the hand. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select another layer, and I'm going to use that as uh, color drop. Well, not color drop, but what I meant to say was what the ash. I've lost my trail of thought again. Damn it. Alright, you know what I can't get the trail of thought, but what I was gonna say is the colors, whatever we do on the shading layer, clipping mask, there we go, is gonna show up on this layer down here. Alright people, so at this point I think this is take 4. I wanted to get this video done in one shot, but then my phone decided to stop recording again, and this time not because of the power cable not plugged in. It apparently when you delete pictures and it goes to your temporary deleted, it still takes up space on the phone. So I didn't know that crap, so I just learned that. So I was deleting that stuff. So now we'll get back to the video and hopefully fingers crossed, be able to wrap it up in this step. So I'm going to start the shading. I've already selected the color that I was going to use for the hand, and I'm gonna but I want to try another different type of shading. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this color, and then I'm gonna use another darker shade of that to see if I get it to look 3D to a certain extent. I don't know if you can tell the difference but in the two tones, but let's see how it progresses. Turn that over like that. This is annoying that I gotta always keep adjusting this little grippy thing that I have. My daughter made this for me, and I think she made it out of not a used but a small little baby sock. Does the job though. And then we come down to this little knuckle little area, or what I call ball bearings. Okay. So now let's try the darker shade of this color. I'm gonna go there. Just select that. Okay. So that'll be like the darker shade. Now can you all tell the difference? Now I'm thinking maybe I'll do a little bit of shading with this color over here, and just like that. And then use the eraser and do that technique I did for the one before this, the skull. I like trying out new ways to shade things, so that way you can see different aspects of what you want to try on different projects. So with this part, which is the underneath of the finger, I was gonna put a little bit of a shadow, but I don't know if that will make this video more longer than it has to be. So I think it's already up to like 30 plus minutes now, so let's see. I'll do one thing. I'll finish off this part of the finger with this color over here. Let me select that. I don't know if I selected it already, and I will skip to the very end to give you all a final reveal of what I did. So is that. Alright, so that's what I've done so far, and I'm gonna continue all of this onto the remaining fingers until I get to the thumb area. So let me get done with that, and I will see y'all in a minute or two. Alright people, so I am back. I finished all this shading, and here's what I did, which is what I started with, that the shade of this, the darker shade of this color, and then I went to a little bit more of a darker shade, and here I will show you what I did with this little piece. I left this piece intentionally so I could do that. So what I did was, and here's another thing you could do, is you take the selection tool, and what's nice about this is you can go anywhere you want and make this design as unique as you can. Shade that over there, deselect, choose the darker shade, which is over here, and then select it again. Notice how I can go like this around because it's got the clipping mask on, so it doesn't really matter in this area over here because the color is not going to show up over here. So what I did was drop that shadow again, deselect it, and for some final touches, I'll just go with this and choose this color again to give it that nice spray paint look. And then I was going to add a little bit of white to this area to show light, but then when I chose the white color, it was not really showing up. It kind of blended in with this color. So what ended up, I did something else instead, is I chose the eraser and just went like this. You see? This way what ends up happening is I'm not really putting any more color down, and I'm just subtracting from the colors or erasing the colors in the spots that are. So the total colors that we used in this was this color over here, which is the light beige, then there is the darker shade of this color, and then finally this is the darker shade of this color. So I think when it comes to screen printing, if I were to choose to change this into some sort of a design or a t-shirt design, what I would have to do is just turn off this line art layer over here, and then automatically there's one color that's subtracted. So now I have 1, 2 and 3. So if any people that are screen printers out there that happen to watch this video now or maybe in the future, drop me a comment and let me know if that's correct. And another thing I like to do is when I do illustrations is I like having to save a file with, like, I'll turn off this background layer, and now I'll save this file as is, and and because it's vector, I'm able to scale it up and down, and I can turn this into, if I wanted to, into a sticker. I can make multiples of them. And then another option is if I wanted to do this as a t-shirt design, obviously again I can scale it up, turn off this line art layer, and now I've got another design. So this is a tidbit of information that I learned from watching another art YouTuber, which what he said, his exact words were, is when you decide to make any drawing or an illustration, always plan to be able to use the art on multiple things. So you never know, you're never going to know if this is going to sell as a sticker or if it's going to sell as a mug or whatever. But say for example, if it does sell as a sticker, as an example, since this is a digital file, you can sell it like till infinity. You could list it on an Etsy shop or whatever, or any of the print on demand sites like Redbubble or TeePublic, and you've certainly got this design now that can be used in more than one application. So yeah, so that is my tutorial. Welcome, learn how to draw. I'm still new at this, but I hope you guys found value in this tutorial, and I hope to make some more. So the usual: like, dislike, thumbs down, or whatever, the YouTube stuff. But I will catch you guys on the next time. So till next time, keep creating, keep drawing. I'll see y'all down the road or on the other side. Bye for now.